we've got a really interesting new set of products from Bluetti. And when I've looked at Bluetti products or Jackery products or you name it, the power station companies, I'm like, why haven't any of them made something for a rig like this, for a Gladiator or a Tacoma or whatever, for your Overlander needs that doesn't require me to throw away everything that I have and start fresh. And by that, I mean, a lot of people start with a power station. It's simple, right? I can put solar power into it. I get AC out. I get USB out. I can do pretty much everything with it. But then when you go to a dedicated power system, you no longer have the need for the power station. And what do? Just, sell it or get rid of it, or it just hangs out forever. Why can't there be a system that can take this and expand it into something that I could use to power everything more efficiently? And that's what Bluetti has done. Now, before, to charge the power stations in the vehicle, we had the Bluetti Charger 1. It was a great unit, 560 watts, and it would charge a power station relatively quickly. And that's what I used on many trips, including my Alaska trip. But wait, there's more. That's all it did. Now we have the upgraded Bluetti Charger 2. Now it's a bit bigger in size. The original one was somewhere around there and a little slimmer. So it's a little chunkier in size, but we got a bunch of ports here. And that's where things get really, really interesting. First off, we have power to the alternator or the starter battery. Pretty simple. If you need to run a signal cable there, it's got that ability. You have output to go directly to the power station, which is actually bi-directional. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Solar panel input. Very, very cool. Solar panel input. A DC panel, which we'll talk about, and some additional ports on here that are going to be pretty interesting. So let's just talk about that, what I've just said for a moment, right? You have an alternator charger, which we've had for a little while. I have them in both vehicles. And we had the ability to charge a power station while the engine was running. But now with the Charger 2, we can hook up solar panels to it, either the ones like I have on top, or when I get to camp, I can just set up solar panels and plug it in. And it comes with all the cables that you need to do that. So it's pretty straightforward, right? So now I have a system that does the alternator charging, solar charging, and can charge the power station and keep everything running. So that's in and of itself, that's pretty damn cool. I'm happy with that. But what they've done is they've set this up to be expandable. Now, number one, because the output is just a standard connectors, I can take it into a Bluetti, an EcoFlow, a Jackery. Doesn't matter which power station I have. I can connect to it. If I want to expand my battery capacity, I can use the the Bluetti AC300. Now, that's the only battery that connects to this thing today because it's a special cable, and you can expand that and get quite a bit more power. If you're running something like this, which is the Elite 200, which is 2,073 watt hours, you probably don't need to expand it. That is probably a lot of power for most people. Now, the next accessory that they have is the D1 hub. This one, it's a little interesting, right? We've got two 12-volt, like cigarette lighter style ports, two DC 5521s. You got two USB-A's at 15 watts and two USB-C's at 100 watts each. Not bad right there, good expandability, but we have an RV port. So this can do 12 volts at 50 amps or 24 volts at 25 amps. And these interesting enough, can do 12 volts at 10 amps or 24 volts at 5 amps. So a lot of flexibility here, and you can adjust all that in the Bluetti app. Now, in terms of like how we can mount this, well, boom, right there. There we go. It comes with this clamp on here. It also comes with regular mounts to mount it to the wall or something. But now in an RV setup or an Overlander setup, you can just have this on the wall somewhere, have additional 12 volt ports, additional USB ports, and if you need the RV port for extra power somewhere, you've got that. So cool expandability right there. Now, there's more. There is going to be a cable coming out that will plug right into here to go in to most 12 volt fridges. So now you're not even chewing up a power port on here to run your fridge. You're running it off of this unit because this can go power both ways. It can charge this when there's more power here. It can drain it when there's more power needed. So pretty cool setup. What is this going to cost you? And that is actually extremely interesting. Let me get back to my notes here. And let me finish up first. The Charger 2 can take in 800 or put out 800 watts from the alternator. So that's better than the 560 from the Charger 1. So you have 800 watts of output. It can take 600 watts of solar power. I have 400 watts, so this is better than even what I have on here. To go to the power station, it can put out 1,200 watts of charging power. Now, price. The Charger 2, with all the cables and stuff that are included, is $349, which for an electronic system, that is your alternator charger, your solar power charger, and all that, that's a smoking deal. That is a really, really good deal. However, you're still going to have the cost of a power station. And that's where, to me, this is where things kind of get in the gray area. If you do not have a power station, but for some reason you want to go power station so you can move it from vehicle to vehicle or from the vehicle to the house, you want the flexibility of a power station, then this makes sense. If you already own power stations, this makes sense. If you're starting from scratch and you want a dedicated power system for your vehicle with a good sized battery, with solar power and DC power and an inverter, this may not make sense. This may be more costly than going the other way. You're going to be a grand plus in here. You're going to be $339 here. You're going to be, hundreds of dollars here. It's going to add up pretty quickly. So it might not make sense for everybody if you're just getting started. You really need to do your homework and see if that's going to work for you. If you already have an investment in power stations, it's almost a no-brainer because your barrier of entry is this, and you're ready to go. Then you can add solar panels, you can add stuff to it and expand on it. But here's where I think they knock it out of the park. So I said $349 for the unit. On the launch date, which is coming up, it should be today, January 6th, for the first 3 days, okay, if you contact Bluetti and you have a Charger 1, you can upgrade to the Charger 2 for $99. That's ridiculous. $99 upgrade for the Charger 1 to the Charger 2. Now, after that, after the first 3 days, and for the first month after, the upgrade is $139. Still a smoking deal to move up to something that's going to add more output, solar power input, bidirectional power. You can upgrade to the fridge power. You can upgrade to the hub for $139. That is a rockin' deal. So after that, then it's $349. So I think it's hard to go wrong. depending on your situation. But think about it and see if this makes sense for you. I've been running the Charger 2 for a while in the Gladiator and just checking it out, running it with different power stations. It's been flawless. I get to camp and I plug solar panels into it. And for the last couple hours at night and the first couple hours in the morning, I'm getting solar power to charge the power station sitting in the back seat, which really is, for me, is only used for charging drone batteries, charging camera batteries, running the Starlink, and as a backup power source if I need to for my refrigerator that runs in the back seat. So it's been working flawlessly. I've been super happy with it. Now, other people may go through the whole install process, but there's not that much to it, right? You're going to run a set of wires from your starter battery to wherever this is. That's really it. And then it's, okay, what am I connecting to it? Am I connecting solar panels to it? Great, plug them in. Where's my power station? Plug it in. Great. Did I get a D1? Great, plug it in. It's just simple connectors on here. You've got like a RJ45 and a plus and minus. Boom, they plug in right there. So I'm not going to bother with the whole installation. What I wanted to do was kind of put it in perspective as to what this is, who it's for, and of course the pricing on it, and to see if this is something that you might think is going to work for you. So check them out at Bluetti. I'll put the links in the description, everything that you need to go and find it. I definitely think for a good chunk of people, especially when you already have the investment in power stations, this is definitely a great way of going. I think it's going to be reliable. I think it's going to work well. I just don't think you're going to be disappointed with it. So that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay safe and charged up. We'll see you on the trails.